Hello and welcome to Rust, Sweat and ADOs. Today we're going to continue with my Reliant Robin project. Over the past week or so, the country's gone into lockdown again, as people outside the UK may not be aware, but people within the UK are probably fully aware. It's made filming videos really, really difficult because I'm not particularly good at filming them on my own, and because I haven't had help here, I've just not been able to film any videos. So today's going to be an update on the project, and hopefully next week I'll be able to get somebody up that can help me film the videos that is within my household, so I'm not breaking any COVID restrictions. Anyway, apologies for the long introduction. I just wanted to get that out there. And also, if anybody owns a Reliant Robin that can help me, I've got a question a little bit later on in the video, so please do stay around for that and put any comments into the comment section. So let's flip the camera around and I'll show you what we've been up to. So you find me in my favourite position, which is under the back end of the Robin. It is a lot easier to go front to back than it is any other way. As you can see, we've now put the tank back on. That's been fully painted and refitted. I've also put a new earth wire in, as the last one had damaged. And I'm not entirely sure if you can be able to see, but we've replaced the copper pipe that runs down here with new. From the factory, it comes with a plastic pipe, which I wasn't very happy with because I thought that was unsafe. Not much else done around the back end apart from this new brake pipe that we did before. As you can see, the brake pipe's actually leaking here, so I need to have a look at what the problem is. And I think the issue may actually be my brake pipes, which are, I think they're wrong. So I just wanted to run that past somebody with knowledge, and I'll show you that a little later on when I get to the front. Not much else has happened other than we've painted here. As you can see, it's a lot nicer than it was. I've now got new nuts here and on the other side because I have taken the decision to replace the engine mounts, which are under here and here. And again, I've replaced the engine mount around the front, which is here, and then same the other side. As you can see, I've got new bolts for my front arm, and if I just swizzle the camera around, we have the arm refitted. So this is a new arm that came off the General Flea, cleaned down, painted and refitted. So if we just come around to the front wheel, as you can see here, it's really, really wet with brake fluid. And the problem is this joint here was leaking really, really badly when it was on the car. Now I think these brake pipes are wrong for my application because that's the end that fits onto the car. That's the end that goes onto the brakes at the front. And if you look up here, if I just angle the camera up, there's a bracket here where that bolts through. So it goes through like that. And it was leaking fluid out of here. Now I think I need a brake pipe that has two of these ends on it and not the shorter end that it has here. So if anybody has any help or advice relating to that, then please post into the comments. Failing that, I'm going to try and order a new pair of brake pipes from the specialist and see if that makes a difference. So while we're under here, you'll see that we have a new steering arm because mine was knackered, and this spring and shock's just been painted, as you saw in the last video. So if we just come around the other side, as you can see, we've got these holes here. And the reason these holes are now here without bolts in them is because I've had to take the radiator off. But while the radiator's off, it gives me a chance to have a look up here. So here, this panel here is where the radiator would sit, behind there. And I always assumed that it was open here to allow airflow into the radiator, but it looks like that isn't the case. So if I come around here and look up there, there's an air scoop where the radiator sits. So there you go, that's something I've learnt new, and the hot air comes out the bottom here. So I always thought it was open, but apparently not. And again, you can see the new mount that I've fitted around this side, hopefully holding the engine a lot still. So, why did I remove the radiator? So, if I just hold this up to the light, you'll be able to see. Look at that. That's quite possibly one of the worst radiators I've ever seen in my life. And you can hear it. That's really not very good. And then of course I've got this one to replace it with. This one needs cleaning because there's quite a lot of crud in it, but aside from the slight damage to some of the fins, it's in much better condition. I had a real problem removing the radiator, which is why I took these brackets off. And because they wouldn't unbolt, what I did is I ground the studs off this from underneath the car, took this off in one plate piece, and then welded new studs in. So yeah, aside from putting the front wheel back on and also doing a bit of painting under here, that's about all we've done underneath for now. So if I drop the car on the ground, I can show you the rest of the progress. Now we've got the car on the ground, I can open the boot and show you where the most of the progress has been made so far. Ignore the stuff actually in the boot. We've now completely cleared all of the parts out of here that were from the general fleet, and we've also hoovered all of the carpets, fitted the parcel shelf and the spare wheel. Now if we come around the other side, as you can see, we have had a first attempt at cleaning the interior, which has made it look a lot nicer. It's still got a lot to do because there's still a lot of dirt in here that can come out, and also I've got a lot of wiring still to do, but that's on the list of jobs in the next couple of days. But I'm sure you'll agree that it looks a lot better than it did. If we just come around this side, you can see that the carpets are still to be fitted. I've still got the side panel to fit because I need to put the header and the inlet and exhaust manifold and carb back on, but the seats are a lot cleaner than they were. They still need a good scrub once the car's back on the road, but for now I'm fairly happy. Same again with the back. It's all looking quite presentable. Have it a quick update as to progress on the Robin project. The next jobs are going to be to refit the manifold as said, the exhaust, sort the brake issue out because I'm not totally sure why those pipes are leaking. I think I've got the wrong pipes, but if somebody can help me out, that would be amazing. And also the next job is going to be to sort the wiring out so that I can get it running again. And now I've fitted the tank and a new filter and a new fuel pipe, it means that I'm not going to be sucking crap into the tank, so we can actually get it running properly this time. And the only other things to do are the alternator and the radiator, but again they're fairly straightforward jobs, and the hope is to really have it done by the end of January. No particular reason other than I've got a lot of stuff to get on with, and I've got a lot of stuff in the unit that I really need to get on with now, but the Robin's nearing completion. And I'm sure you'll agree with me that it's looking terrible, but less terrible than it did. I just can't wait to start driving it out on the open roads. So as always, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please check out my other videos, and also do subscribe. And please give me comments and feedback in the comments section, because I do read those and I do respond to as many as possible. And they do help me with trying to grow the channel and trying to understand what I should do more of and what I should do less of. So with that, I'd like to say goodbye, and I'll catch you next time.